I think that we're ready to start. So I would like to say good afternoon, good morning, good evening, good night to all of you. Uh, Hi. And I would like to say very welcome to all of you for joining from across the world in all the different time zones. My name is Katarina Franceva. I serve as a coordinator of the European Regional Office of Astronomy for Development, which is part of the International Astronomical Union. And our office is based in Leiden. The office consists also of Pedro Russo and George Miley. Um, and I want to welcome all of you and to open today's workshop on the universe awareness, legacy, and prospects that is dedicated to one of the most inspiring initiatives in astronomy education, universe awareness. Um, I think that many of you, or actually all of you, very well know very well about the universe awareness. Sorry, I'm also getting all the notifications about admitting new people. Okay. I wanted to give a very just a little couple of sentences about universe awareness, which has been really an incredible, inspiring program that helped children explore the wonders of universe and discover their place in it. There have been a lot of different activities, creative classroom activities, teacher training, storytelling, and universe awareness has been really a special project that sparked children's curiosity, empathy, and global citizenship from an early age. Um, Today in our workshop, what actually we wanted to do, we wanted to bring many of you, so educators, scientists, visionaries, who build the universe awareness and sustain the legacy of it. And the goal of today's workshop is to reflect on the impact of the universe awareness project and discuss how it can evolve to meet the needs of today's learners and societies. And our program is really amazing today. We have keynote reflections, we have lightning talks from colleagues around the world. Also, we had actually quite a lot of people who wanted to contribute with lightning talks, but unfortunately, we couldn't make our program very long, especially because it's a virtual workshop. So we invited people who are not presenting in person today, lightning talks, to record their contributions, and we'll put them on our website. So you can also watch all their presentations and their inspiring talks afterwards. Our session today is live on YouTube. So you can always share it with your colleagues. You can always go back to it and check the talks that, I don't know, maybe you went in the meantime to take a cup of coffee and got distracted. So you can always rewatch it back. I wanted to open the workshop. I wanted first to say that the legacy of universe awareness would not be possible without Dr. Carolina Odman-Govender. She served as the first international project manager of universe awareness, and um, um, her vision was instrumental in turning the early idea of the universe for all children into a truly global movement that reached educators and learners in more than 60 countries. And our first talk today, our first contribution that we will have is going to be from Professor George Miley. George is the founder of universe awareness and the founder of the IAU Office of Astronomy for Development. And George is truly the driving force behind the belief that astronomy can be a tool for empowerment and building bridges across cultures. So, George, I invite you to give your presentation, and the floor is yours.
Thank you very much, Katja, and thanks for organizing all of this. I just try and share my slides first of all, just to see if that works. Can you do you see my slides?
We see your
Yes.
slides. Yeah, yeah. And I believe that this is the first page. So you're
Oh,
good to go,
okay.
George.
Fantastic. And again, a great welcome to all my old friends and new friends. We thought it would be nice to just beginning have a short talk on the first decade of universe awareness, why we started in the first place, the history, the accomplishments, and I'll give some personal thoughts on the future at the end. Now, universe awareness is not astronomy education, but it's an astronomy-based program, but the goals are social. The idea is, of course, to expose young children of the age 4 to 10 to the inspirational aspects of astronomy. The perspective is a unique tool in broadening children's minds and in trying to stimulate a sense of globalism, of respect, of tolerance. It's just at the age when their value systems are forming. And the inspiration and fun, the idea is to use the inspiration and fun of the universe to get them excited by science, demonstrate the power of rationality, and try and motivate the development of language and numeric skills. So that's the fundamental pillar, the basis. And there's an we all know, I think, it's a no-brainer that getting to kids at a young age is very effective. But there's an economic argument, not that I'm always in favor of economists, but the Nobel Prize winning economist James Heckman actually wrote several scientific papers on the effectiveness, economic effectiveness of beginning early, that motivation begets motivation begets motivation.
But right now, given what we know that the greatest opportunities for improving the lives of human beings come by intervening in the early years. And I want to talk about the biology and the neuroscience that actually creates this. But the slogan that motivates a lot of this work would be that skill begets skill and motivation begets motivation. And what we've learned, and this is the positive message I want to share with you today, is that if society intervenes early enough, it can raise cognitive and social emotional abilities. And the rates of return on these investments, if we put it in a purely economic setting, range between 7 to 10%. As a benchmark, the historical return on equity, never mind the recent 6 months of the stock market, the historical return on equity is about 5.8%. So what we're dealing with is a rate of return on investment that essentially is very high, that competes with any social program, that's much better than infrastructure, much better than building bridges, much better than fixing potholes. Fixing people, creating a base for future productivity and motivation for the society has a very high economic and social return. And the positive news is that we can do something about our social problems.
So in 2003, I was privileged to get a research professorship from the Dutch Academy of Sciences with a lot of funding. And I always wanted to begin something like this. And so that was the beginning. And I contacted Richard West and Klaus Madsen in ESO, and they were strongly supportive. A letter to the Director General of the Science Policy at the Ministry here, and we had a meeting in 2004 in Brussels, and we had a workshop in May 2005 to begin things, and Cecilia, who's going to talk after, was there. We started pilot projects in Chile, Indonesia, Tunisia, and South Africa. As Katja said, it was a really fantastic appointment of Carolina Udman as a project manager in June 2005. And unfortunately, she's no longer with us, but she got the program off the ground. And Cecilia was here from the beginning, as I said. And here you see a press conference at the IAU in Prague General Assembly, where we launched the program, essentially. You see Carolina, Cecilia, and Klaus Madsen. The Dutch Minister of Education, Culture and Science, Maria van der Hoeven, was a key person in actually supporting us. And we were a global cornerstone of IAU 2009. We were embedded in the IAU Decadal Strategic Plan. And we formed this, or Carolina formed this dedicated network of experts in more than 60 countries. We managed then to get a program from the EU Universal Awareness for the implementation in 5 EU member states and South Africa, for which we got €2.5 million, and to do the program. Eventually, at 2014, we managed to get in a pilot program in 60 countries. And as I said, we built up a network of 500 multidisciplinary network, educators, teachers, and astronomers. Here you see, I won't go into, but just to give you an idea of the sort of things we did. So I think it's quite an achievement that one can point out to if one's trying to continue in the first decade. All these targets we managed to achieve. We reached more than 60,000 kids, produce 170 resources, and we won a prize for an educational prize. The Space Scoops, the Student Ambassador Program, and the websites. Here was the Earth Ball. That was one of our signal products. 10,000 were distributed all over the world. The Cecilia developed this fantastic universe in a box, and more than 1,000 were distributed to schools and teachers in 57 different countries. And here you see the universe in a box, where it reached the reach around the world. And so I think in general, it was extremely successful. We got a lot of support. We lobbied, and we got a lot of support from the European Parliament, as you can see here.
Astronomy.
But one of our biggest supporters was a visionary South African Minister of Science and Technology, who later went on to be the Foreign Minister of South Africa, Naledi Pandor. And she really felt that this sort of program was extremely important.
Astronomy, a priority science mission for South Africa. Astronomy is proving to be an important instrument for science education in terms of the excitement it generates among our youth. Which young person doesn't want to discover a star? Which young person doesn't want to have a star named after them? Which young person doesn't want to be the first to see that particular galaxy? So we are really thrilled that this science of astronomy can be a boost, a foundation for building the level of science interest and career that we want to see in our country. So we were really...
So astronomy is technology, astronomy is culture, astronomy inspires, and it's really for handicapped, for everybody. And here are some personal thoughts looking back on if one wants to continue the sort of thing that one needs. First of all, I think a program like this, the way the world is going, it's more than ever needed. There's so many things that threaten our survival. But I think to be effective, it has to be a large-scale program on a global scale, adapted to local cultures. Large funding sources is needed. Partnership between research astronomers and teachers are essential. And maybe one should think about partnerships with other sciences, arts, and cultures. We need a new generation of proponents. We're 20 years older than when we began the program. Here's a possible roadmap which one maybe could think about in the breakout sessions. First of all, I think one needs to mobilize influential senior researchers, the Carl Sagans, and convince them of the uniqueness of this approach. I think we need to use them to approach potential patrons, and the sort of caliber of Minister Pandor and Kotse Mokele from South Africa. I think we need to recruit volunteers of young researchers and teachers throughout the world. A multi-year plan, of course, together with the OAD, the OAE, and a discussion with national academies. Exploit the network to approach sympathetic politicians, administrators, foundations, and international organizations. And I think to get it off the ground, you need a charismatic project manager who is who with about 2 FT of funding, and highly motivated PM. We won't get another Carolina, but I think we should try our best to do this. And boy, oh boy, there's a real need for a program like this. So I leave it like that.
Thank you, George, very much for the reflections, but also for the proposed ideas on how to move forward. And we do have time for one very quick question. So we agreed in advance that most of the questions will be
maybe we should postpone the questions for later. I've gone on too long, so I think we should give other people unless there's a very urgent question.
Let's see. If there is a very urgent question, you can raise your hand. But yeah, the idea that in the second part of the workshop, we'll have breakout groups where the idea actually is to have a very insightful discussion in general on how universe awareness can be continued today. So I would propose that we leave any questions or suggestions for that part, and to continue moving on with our program. And for this, I want to invite Cecilia Scartzalesh from the University of Munich. And Cecilia will tell us about the perspective on the past and future of universe awareness. So Cecilia, please, if you can try to share your screen. Just let me check. George, I think, can you stop sharing yours?
Okay, sorry, yes.
Thank you. You're muted. Wait,
Okay.
Yeah,
Now you
perfect.
can- Well, thank you very much for this invitation. It's a pleasure for me to give my perspective, because George has been very general, my perspective on the past and future of universal awareness. And at the very beginning, I would like to tell George that I am grateful for his initiative. It is not obvious that an astronomer, a professor of astronomy, dedicates time to such types of social program linking cultures and linking countries. So thank you very much, George. This program has been in my life around 20 years, and I would like to move forward and give some impressions of the first meeting at ISO May 25, with a bit more pictures and photos. And well, we met Rosa, Marina, and George and Klaus Madsen, that's me by that time. And we decided that the goals of the program should be based on science, technology, and cultural roots. And that the program would be devoted especially to disadvantaged children. By that time, I had some experience, 2-3 years of experience in teaching astronomy to children, also with immigrant backgrounds. But I kept in mind George's words to go and look for disadvantaged children. So several months after I visited Venezuela, which is my home country, and I took a boat, this is the Caribbean, and then we walk about 10 kilometers to reach a small village. And during this walk, I met spontaneously children for the first time carrying a backpack with pictures and a telescope. And I would like to give you an impression of this experience, because it marked my future work for UNAWE. So these are children that we met on the road, and I show them pictures about star formation regions, and they wanted to know immediately whether they could look at newborn stars. And during the afternoon, when we reached the village, my children and my niece were with me by that time. A lot of children came to listen to the stories that I was telling. And during the afternoon, we just had beautiful observations with a telescope. So I can resume the big idea of UNAWE with these 2 words: think big. For me, the educational power of astronomy resides on the possibility of expanding children's world's view and on the connection among us as a human family. So these are my ideas about the power of astronomy education. And several years after, indeed, there was a publication by Professor Lieberman showing how astronomy can foster creativity for children from a galaxy away. And her motto was also to think big. So we were on the right way. And George has already mentioned the huge amount of countries that we reach with this program, and the huge amount of children since 2011, 400,000 children. And also all these pictures, I have them in my office, just shows you these eyes full of amazement and wonder and fascination for astronomy and for the Earth. So it's the same. Children react everywhere in the same manner. And all these achievements would have not been possible without two coordinators of the program. First, Carolina Ottmann-Govender. We miss you, Carolina. She was so enthusiastic and inspirational. And she was like an open space where everybody could feel at home. And I worked very close with Carolina, developing the logo of Universal Awareness you see on the bottom left. This was my idea of the picture, and then she took it and developed our logo. And at the right side, you see our first contacts with the UNESCO office, as George mentioned already. So we were knocking at the doors of these ambassadors at the UNESCO, and many of them opened their doors and welcome us. So these were really highlights on the history of universe awareness. And of course, Pedro came afterwards, and not only with his inspirational and charismatic way of doing things, but much more academical. And well, he was very worried about an evaluation program. And well, I did this together with Grace Kimball. We developed an evaluation program for universe awareness. And Pedro was very keen to publish reports and to gather in a systematic way a lot of information from all these countries. So this sort of giving a structure to the universe awareness was very important to evaluate the impacts of the program. And there were also a lot of international projects like a Galileo Mobile, painting by countries, Space Coop, Astro News, the latest Astro News for children. Many of my colleagues were working on this. There were several international workshops. You see here Lara Albanesa, who also left us very sadly. We remember her. And of course, the amazing Eratosthenes program, UNAWE GTTPT, led by Rosa Duran, excuse me. And then you see at the right side, the Universe in the Box, which took me a lot of work and the development. Here we met the Science Ministry of Holland. I think that was 2005. And the box, well, was led and was shared, and we gathered a lot of feedback. But finally, it was my colleague Natalie Fischer at the House of Astronomy to help me compile, describe, and complete this box. And the brightest idea, I think, of Pedro of launching a crowdfunding campaign to gather donations, and the wonderful work of Pedro and Jaya Ramanshadi, who produced the box in India and spread it all around the world. So this was amazing. In 2015, the Universe in a Box was received the Scientix Prize. And well, Natalie and I went to Brussels to receive it on behalf of Universe Awareness. So now we see here children in Chile with the galaxy on their hands. But we cannot leave the children with the galaxies on their hand. We have gone really far away from the Earth, so we have to go back to Earth. We have to change our view and have a look back at home in the same way that Carl Sagan did when the NASA launched the Voyager 1 and 2 spacecrafts to explore the outer planets of the solar system. And Carl Sagan expressed the wish to turn back the camera of Voyager 1 to take a picture of the Earth. By that time, the NASA team told him, well, this is not scientifically relevant. and it will be dangerous because the Earth is very near the sun and we could get the camera damaged. So he waited 10 years for the picture, and here it is. And at the right side, you can see his thoughts about it, because this is a fundamental act of human reflection, what happened here. Look at this dot, that's here, that's home. It underscores our responsibility to preserve and care for the pale blue dot, the only home we have ever known. And this view is really important today because we have huge problems. We have a global warming, which is affecting all continents and all countries of the world. So we can not only inspire children, we have to give them tools to adapt and become resilient and understand what's going on. And this global warming is causing weather extremes, not only fires in many countries of the world, but also floods. And this is a report of UNICEF stating that 27 million children are at risk because of the floods. And then you have on the other side, the other stream, the droughts. Children walking kilometers away to carry some water back home. This is a bad scenario, but after the recent reports, really, we are very worried because this will be the world with 6 meters sea level rise. And if you take into account that the half of humanity lives at the coast in the continent, you can see how dramatic their lives will change. And now in Bangladesh, they cannot cope to live near the water. So now they are developing new ideas like floating schools. You see at the right, there are floating schools in Bangladesh. People need to adapt. And we are in this situation because instead of looking at the Earth as a planet illuminated by the sun with own cycles, water, methane, carbon dioxide, with the maritime and air currents, we have a globe inside our heads, a globe to explore, to travel around, and to exploit. And we have forgotten the planetary boundaries. So we need more Earth awareness and universe awareness. And this is the matter of our program that we are developing at the LMU, Ludwig-Maximilians-Universität in Munich. This is me and a young colleague, Christina Freitag. And it's called UNAWE Pale Blue Dot, from knowledge of our planet to sustainable action. And it's a science project. It promotes scientific thinking, raises awareness on environment, and promotes cooperation, because only together we will be able to cope with the challenges and develop resilience within the groups. So this program is based on 3 dimensions of learning. It's the cognitive one, which we usually know from school, is the acquisition of knowledge, scientific thinking, critical thinking about global, regional, and national issues. And the main point here is to discover connections and interactions and dependencies. Then you have the social, emotional part, have a sense of belonging to a common humanity, sharing values and responsibility. The main aspect here is to foster solidarity. And then you have the behavioral dimension, acting effectively and responsibly at local, national, and global levels for a more peaceful and sustainable world. And this is possible only if we give children enough space to become empowered, with working groups, student-led learnings, discussions, regional examples, a lot of visual resources, and experiments and more experiments. This is the basis of scientific thinking. And throughout this program, which we are proposing now as a future program for universal awareness, there is still a lot of storytelling, telling with cultural roots, observing, performing experiments, and a lot of comparisons to do to deduce things and look towards the future. And we have been talking to many children, and they feel overwhelmed about these 17 development goals. So they don't know where to start with. So we are proposing that we focus in climate action and look to the links of life on the sea, on the water, and so on, to combat hunger, and then no poverty, and then clean water. So if we keep the habitable regions on the earth, the rest will be done successfully. But if the earth is limited in its possibility to give life and host a life, then we will have a problem. So you can build a causal chain along the 17 development goals. We have thought about having 3 models: a wonderful planet Earth, which is very similar to the universe and awareness and the universe in the box, Earth awareness, but we include the formation of the Earth and of life on it, and climate change and climate protection as a 3rd model. So we start usually this program, we have 10 pilot programs in several schools with a box sent by the astronomers of the region to the children with invitations to join a research mission. And you see here the questions are: do you see this pale blue dot? What could it be? How big is it? And why is it blue? And immediately the teacher and the children turn into a research team. And the children take a backpack at home with the models that they have been constructed and building by themselves to share their knowledge and this excitement in their families and with their friends. So what makes the Earth habitable? That is very important to introduce to children. So they discover the habitable zone, that where water can be found in a liquid form. And with this solar system model that was included already in the universe in the box, they recreate the Voyager's journey. And at the end, they understand the pale blue dot picture. So they discover this is the Earth. So the aim message of this model is the Earth is a very special place. And we had on the universe in the box solar system card game, and we change it. So you see in all these cards the planets of the solar system, but in each card you still see the Earth, and the text is a comparison, direct comparison of each planet with the Earth to really show how special our planet is. And this is the version from Armenia from our colleague Amini Patananian, who tried the Model 1 in Armenia. And Model 2 is amazing. I couldn't imagine that the children would be so excited about knowing about how the solar system formed. And we invite them to look under their beds and look for protoplanets, because the Earth started with as a dust of bunch, growing and growing. And they gather all these bunches, and they really develop a feeling of how the Earth grew from dust to a hot and dry Earth, and how it became its water from the asteroids. And they do some experiments with a water cycle, with warm water, very hot water, and they compare the difference. Where is it more raining? This is what's happening with global warming. So the message is many events have made the Earth habitable. The Earth's resources are limited. We should share them. And Model 3, climate change or global warming, that was really exciting to see how the children understand that we need an atmosphere, that an Earth without an atmosphere gets heated by the sun but loses the whole heat. So it's frozen, it's an ice, a snowball. But having too much greenhouse gases will increase too much the warmth. And then you see here down a sort of experiments of showing to children the role of ice on the Earth for its temperature, with an Earth without Arctic poles or Antarctic and white regions. And they can measure with a digital thermometer which of these two Earths will become hotter. And there is a lot of experiments to show the rise of sea level, the rise of water when it becomes the water volume, because it becomes warmer and needs more space, and also the impact on shells of acid water, which is also happening. So it's a lab to explore climate change. And also the impacts, we talk to them, and it's caused by humans, and we must stop the CO2 emissions immediately, and which is the best way to do that, to support the energy transition. And inside the box, there are some solar panels with to make some light. It's amazing, 6 hours of light with this small solar panel, and to develop mitigation programs, planting trees and doing other things like going by foot to school and trying to get the CO2 emissions down. So we have already prepared a website in English. The program is still open for further development, to try to join us. And we have been offering teacher trainings in Germany, and we have a long waiting list for next year. And you see these two gentlemen here. They are from the Caritas Fabrik Fulda. They produce the boxes. There is also a document to build your box, to try it, to improve it, to enlarge it. And we have the feeling that this could be a program for the future of universe awareness, because we need to prepare the children and their parents. Children are able to teach their own parents. If the parents have no high education, children are able to do that. We have been following this knowledge transfer from the classroom at home. And as you heard before, we devote this program to the memory of Carolina Erdmann Govender, and invite you all to join us. Thank you very much for your attention.
Thank you so much. The very first immediate request we have, if you could post in the comment section the link to the website, that would be amazing.
Yeah.
And thank you so much in general for showing the legacy, the past, everything that you do. It's incredibly inspirational, and also, as Kelly wrote, that's also very cute. We have time for questions. So please, if you, I see there will be some questions in the chat, but also if you want to ask, you can raise your hand, unmute, and go ahead with the question. I will start by reading the first
Hello,
one.
everyone.
Yeah. Yes. Hi.
Nice to be here. Thank you for allowing me to be here in this presentation. I would like to know how can I get this program to Paraguay? My name is Brian, and I'm living here in Paraguay, and I see in the map of UNAWE programs different countries. I see that nor Paraguay or Bolivia are into the program. So, well, what are the requirements to bring this program here, this country, for example? Thank you.
Yeah. Well, this is not too specific to Pale Blue Dot, but you're welcome. you're really welcome to join us. And by the time, so Yaya and Pedro, there were some universe in the box materials to be sent, but I don't know if there are some of them in Leiden. But I can join efforts with you, and of course help with Katia. I come from Venezuela. Hola, ¿cómo estás? So we can exchange ideas, but welcome. That will be my feeling, that you're welcome to develop this program in Paraguay.
Thank you also for dropping the link in the chat so everybody can see it. And I will also copy it and make sure that we have it also on the website of the workshop. So then people who didn't manage to copy it from the chat will have access to it as well. Are there some more questions that any of you would like to ask? Okay, I see that we have no more questions, so I would propose that we move to our next talk. And our next talk will be by Edward Gomez. And Edward is the president of the IAU Division C, Division on Education, Outreach, and Heritage. Edward, the floor is yours.
Thank you. Right, I'll go ahead and share my screen and okay. Okay, everybody see the slides okay? Thumbs
Yeah,
up, Katia?
it's perfect.
Thank you. So I'm delighted to be here. I have a long history with universal awareness, and I wanted to, when Katia invited me to speak, I wanted to give my perspective on what universal awareness has, what difference it's made to me. But also you'll notice that I have an assistant today who is an 8-year-old who is perfectly within the age frame of universal awareness. This is my son Tristan, who's supposed to be doing Minecraft right now. So back in 2010, a friend of mine was a teacher, and she wanted to give a school workshop on space. And so I said, yeah, sure, I'll come along and do it. So I called my friend, or I emailed my friend, Carolina Erdmann, and said, I remember last time we met, you mentioned this Universal Awareness Project. So what's this all about? And she said, oh, okay, you can do these activities, and this is a universe in a universe awareness activity with some children back from 2010. And that was the point which my career trajectory took a different path, really. Soon after that, I became involved in Task Force 2 as part of the Office of Astronomy for Development, which was concerned with children and schools. I was co-chairing it with Pedro Russo. And in 2012, I went to visit Pedro in Leiden. And there we are, exceptionally young and fresh-faced and naive, along with Sarah Reed, who at the time was the Space Scoop writer, and Angela Perez. That week that I spent in Leiden, seeing the dynamics of the universe awareness, not only of the team in Leiden, but also the partnerships, really cemented for me that actually this was a really special program, not just for the reasons that Cecilia and George have talked about, but for many other reasons, and for reasons that I've sort of taken with me throughout the projects that I've been involved with. The first of them is graphic design. So this is something which universal awareness, and particularly EU universal awareness, has really encapsulated that if you have really outstanding graphics, really outstanding pictures, your resources look very good. They are instantly appealing, and particularly to young children. It's so important to make a very high visual impacts when you're dealing with young children. So that was one of the first things. The second was the partnerships. This, I can't overstate how important good partners are. They bring things to the table that you never would have expected. And I saw this in Universe Awareness, that the partners contributed to the whole. Not only was it, a central repository of things, but the partners grew their own resources and shared it with the network. It was a true partnership. But fundamentally, it's inspirational. It sets out to really change people's perspectives from a very early age. Just like George showed, if you can do it from an early age, then you set people up for their entire lives. And this is really the thing that struck me about Universe Awareness. Many programs I'd been involved with previously targeted high school children, and normally the last 2 years of education. And because in astronomy, you've got big concepts, big numbers, and it was seen that, those are the children that could understand that. But what I learned through working with Universe Awareness was that nobody is too young to really be inspired by space. It's actually you that have to do the work. You have to frame your program so that children take away from it the enormous scales and science that's happening in space. And another aspect that I want to talk about is the sustainable education aspect, because that is, and I'll give some case studies of how the universal awareness model has impacted me, but really, because of those things, universal awareness has a sustainable life. The partnerships formed back in those early days are still active today. And even without a coordinator or an FP7 or a Horizon 2020 or a large funding bid behind it, still the ethos and the philosophy of universal awareness sustains many engagement projects around the world, and people still feel proud to call themselves a universal awareness partner. Cecilia mentioned one of the international workshops, and back in 2012, the one in Heidelberg, I was very pleased to go to. And while I was there, I had noticed that a funding bid that I'd put in for this program, Universe in the Classroom, was successful. The Welsh government had agreed to give us £900,000, and we used that to train teachers from 100 schools around Wales. Did 100 school workshops, so separate to that, with students. We involved robotic telescopes, and we gave away free resources. And the most important resource that we gave was the Universe in a Box. This was the thing that the teachers were desperate for. Having a kit and the booklet of ready-made activities that they could just, take some things when they were doing their planning and have an amazing astronomical experience for their children was really so important. Universe in the Classroom didn't only use this resource, but we also used the evaluation strategies that Grace Kimball, that I think Cecilia mentioned. We use those evaluation strategies, and those are just as relevant today as they were back in we ran the program from 2013 to 2015. What you can see on the left here are personal meaning maps, where you start off by asking the students what they think of if they stand outside and look at the night sky, and that's what's in pencil. And then you ask them to add to that picture at the end of the workshop. And you can see here that they're quite basic pictures to start with, but at the end of the workshop, the students have provided little annotations, they've given comets with tails, and it's a really vivid way of capturing what happened in the workshop and what they took away from it. Sarah Eve Roberts was our program coordinator for this program, and she went through and categorized all of the different inputs on that, and we actually wrote a paper on it, which I can provide people so that you can see. But this was very much a universal awareness project. And on the right, we've got a Draw a Scientist. And this was a really fun activity because we did it both ways. We did it before and we did it afterwards, but with different groups. And before, the students tended to draw a picture of a man doing science. And after the workshop, the students tended to draw themselves doing science. Yeah, even that kid at the top with the spiky hair. That's the kid had spiky hair. He wanted to have a bandit mask on for some reason, but you know, these are 9 and 10-year-olds. But that's really wonderful that the kids didn't stop drawing just, you know, the stereotypical scientist with crazy hair. They drew themselves doing science. That's something really quite beautiful. And a project that really takes this philosophy even further, that I was involved with, was Ada's Adventures in Science. It really takes the idea that everybody learns differently, and by having beautiful things, you can inspire people. And if those beautiful things are also instructional, then they can be inspired and they can learn things. So I wanted to make a comic book, particularly for the transition between primary school and high school. It's a very difficult transition for many kids, and many kids lose their curiosity, or they don't lose it, but they push it deep down inside themselves because they want to desperately fit in when they're in high school. And this comic book was trying to empower children to just keep on asking those questions. I worked with an artist in Cardiff called Laura Sorfala. She's from Finland. And we had a kickoff event, and we had giant versions of these comic books. And this is Ada. She's the character in all 3 of the stories, and she likes finding things out, because finding things out and asking questions are the fundamentals of science. So in the stories, and we made the stories, they're black and white, so they can be printed easily. They can be photocopied. They're open access so that anybody can have them. And we also wanted diverse voices in there. We didn't want there to just be stereotypical scientists. So we have a range of different characters that hopefully students can see as inspiration. But really, we wanted to show that anybody can do science, and anybody, if they want to, can be a scientist, no matter what their background is, no matter what they look like or how they speak. Anybody can do science by just asking questions. We ran a Kickstarter, which was promoted by the kind people in Leiden and many of you here on the call today. We sent 15,000 copies to 17 countries around the world, initially in 4 different languages. But now Ada's Adventures are available in 19 languages. And this is the true power of a network of partners. People see something and they want to help, they want to contribute, and they want to take it and have some ownership over it and use it in their own situation. So please do use Ada's Adventures wherever, and tell me about it too, because that's the part that people forget. And the other project that I wanted to say that had a massive impact, that Universal Awareness had a massive impact on me when I was creating, was Global Sky Partners. I ran this program from 2017 until just recently when I left Las Cumbres Observatory. But I wanted really to duplicate the partnership that you have with Universal Awareness, but using robotic telescopes. Because I saw that the partners are the key. If you get really good partners, you can achieve really good things. So in this program, the partners run their own education programs, but the coordinator provides the technical support, but also the mentorship in using the robotic telescopes for education, outreach, and engagement. the program in the last year was running in 50 countries through the work of 42 partners, and some of them are on the call today. I saw Julie, Naira, other people that I can't see. I'm just frantically scrolling down the list of people who've been involved in this program. Steve Pompeo was involved many at the very beginning. And it's really great to see you all. And it really shows how these programs are complementary. It has an annual impact of 60,000 individuals, but we all know that individual impact is not really what we're after. We're after deep impact that makes a lasting difference to people. Oops, sorry. I've clicked on the wrong window. So in conclusion, the thing that really I took away from Universal Awareness was graphic design, the partnerships, the inspiration, but fundamentally, Universal Awareness is about broadcasting hope. It's about making people feel connected, making them look up at the sky and see the same sky as people in their neighboring town, their neighboring country. And even though those countries may have arguments, that those borders aren't represented in the sky. And it also broadcasts hope for us as scientists, as educators, as people running programs who very often are on our own. We work from home, we work in small teams, and being part of something bigger gives us all hope that we can make a big and lasting change, especially in these really difficult political and geographical times. So that's all I want to say for now. Thank you for listening.
Thank you so much, Edward. Yeah, I've seen there have been comments as you were showing different projects, and especially the ADAS adventures. People were recognizing their own native languages. I also saw Ukrainian, which is my native language. Yeah, thank you very much for your talk. Also incredibly inspirational, and the takeaway message, I couldn't agree. Now my English starts jumping. I couldn't agree more. Yes, that's the correct way to say. I see we have a question from Manuel. Manuel, please go ahead, unmute yourself. And
hello, can you hear me?
Yeah.
yes.
Okay, first of all, congratulations for your job. It's impressive. All those projects are a really good tool to do a very effective science outreach at the level we want to, that is beginning with small kids and schools. And I have a question because I also have a program of schools to visit this year. I have been already in 4, and I could use this comic book a lot. And if there is a link or something that I should fill information for you for your statistics, I would like to know which one is this. And also if I could share this with other outreach institutions as museums and other astronomy clubs. Thank you.
Thank you. That's very kind. Yeah, we don't have a form, much to my yeah, I should have really prepared that. But you can always email me and let me know. It's really wonderful to hear from people when they use these. Like I said, the comics are free. They're open access, so you can print them yourself and use them. They shouldn't take more than a few A4 sheets. We have them available in print format so that you can print them yourself and put them together and then put staples down the middle and fold them like that. But yeah, it would be wonderful if you could use them and yeah, print them out. They're open access, so if a museum wants to print out them in better quality and sell them to raise funds for the museum, I'm happy with that too.
Thank you. I've seen that there has been more questions or more raised hands. So please, if you want to ask a question, yeah, unmute yourself. I don't see at the moment raised hands anymore, but yeah, if Chile. Please go ahead.
Yes. How many people are working with you, and how do you cope with a lot of requests coming in? Because this is what really is making our work difficult, because there are always interactions. And this would be also a question to Pedro.
So when I was working for Las Cumbres Observatory, there was me and I had a colleague, and there were just the two of us. But I did most of the partner support. We were extremely fortunate that we had a really dedicated group of partners that I hosted a monthly teleconference that was really well attended, that was really a forum for those people to discuss any problems that they had, share their programs. I always made sure that two of the partners gave a talk about their programs. But it's really down to the partners. You know, they did the hard work. They did the forwards facing aspect of the work, and they were very generous with their time. If there was ever a partner that had a particular problem that I couldn't help with, I connected them, and they'd very often just work together. So that was the way that it worked. It's actually, now that I've left Las Cumbres, it's going to be run as a cooperative. So the partners are actually sustaining the program themselves, and they're doing are going to do the role. So yeah, so I'm very proud of that program. But it is all about the partners. You know, you have good people, and you give them your trust, and they will do amazing things.
Thank you. Actually, partially the question was also to Pedro. So I saw that Pedro has his video on. So Pedro, if you want to answer and comment as well.
I'll be happy to do it. And thank you, Cecilia, for the question. It's good to see so many friends and so many former colleagues, but especially friends. So that's an interesting question. Of course, if you're running a project like we've been running now, we are very lucky to have someone like Katja that can actually do a lot of this coordination and answer all the questions. And that's also super useful to have that in the project. And as you know, during the golden days of Universal Awareness, we had a small team that was able to answer the requests. Nowadays, I think what is really interesting is that, like Edward was saying, we have a network of colleagues that is very easy for us to just bounce the questions to other colleagues that don't have the right answer, and especially point people to the website, which is still a valuable resource, where most of the questions, we can find the answers with the materials that we develop or some of the resources that are available. So most of the work that we do now is just pointing people to the right person that can answer that question or to the right resource on the website.
Thanks, Pedro.
Yeah, I totally agree with that approach as well. That's really what I do too. You have good resources, and you make them available to everybody.
True. Are there maybe any more? Yeah, sure.
May I ask? Some of the teachers that join us with PayBlue here in Germany, they use task cards because the website is not flexible enough to load up and down a lot of ideas. And do you know these task cards? It's a space where everybody having the link can load up their own ideas, materials, videos, improvements. So perhaps we can talk about this because I'm very happy to see that the groups become independent of me. But at the beginning of the project, I receive a lot of requests. And of course, the website is very important, as Pedro said. So the translation of the website into many other languages. So perhaps we can join efforts regarding UNAWE PayBlue.
Yeah, that sounds also like a good idea. Yeah, we can discuss it later in the breakout groups and in the general discussion, but also if there is a link maybe to have a look at what exactly is this how it looks also. So maybe because we're gonna have a short break, and so in the short break, some people can have a coffee, some people can have both things, have a coffee, have a look at the links. Um, uh, Also, by the way, people who are writing comments in the chat, if you want to also say it out loud, also please unmute yourself, and otherwise I can also read your messages if you prefer. I see there was a comment from Julie. Julie was one of those who went to the Universe Awareness website a lot for inspiration and sent a lot of people to the website. Never ordered the Universe in the box, but it was definitely used here. Oh, that's also great to hear. Thank you for the comment, Julie. So now, actually, it's time to move to our lightning talks. I would like to thank you a lot again to our invited speakers today, to George, to Cecilia, to Edward. Thanks a lot for reflecting on the legacy of universe awareness and also for giving ideas and inspiration on how it can move forward. As you've seen in the email, we were asking people to, if they want to contribute with the short talks, with the lightning talks, and there was this opportunity. And we selected 3, but there were many others, and we will circulate them afterwards when we'll upload them to our website. But today, let's move to the 3 that we have. We'll start with the first talk by Beatriz Garcia about universe awareness and the IAU Key Initiatives Working Group.
Hello. Thank you very much, Katerina. And it's a pleasure to be here. Thank you very much for the invitation. And this will be a very, very short talk. Let me see if I can move to the full screen mode. Well, this is a presentation connected with our proposal some time ago. It's the Key Initiatives Working Group. And the objectives of this new working groups in 2018 was to connect and to recover the main programs, mainly the programs which were born as part of the International Year of Astronomy in 2009. And these successful initiatives will be maintained and recognize the tools, try to measure the impact and maintain the actions in a long time and connect different institutions and activities. The goals of the key initiatives was or is assure the continuity of the programs within the IAU, be a forum to establish a discussion about the programs and identify new ones, propose tools for evaluation, coordinate the works, exchange ideas, and avoid overlap. And also advice about inclusion and equity, because we are part also of the executive working group on equity and inclusion. We decided at the beginning to include the 3 main projects, very well known as NACE, GTTP, and UNAWE. And with the time, we identify another main projects, one of them part of a spin-off from UNAWE, the Pale Blue Dot, Globe at Night, recently Eratosthenes project to measure the size of the Earth. But I propose to concentrate in the 3 main projects. Well, NACE is a very well-known program. It's a training program devoted to teach how to teach astronomy for mainly secondary school professors. It's a hands-on activity, but based in low-tech and low-cost materials. Galileo Teaching Training Program is also a training program devoted mainly to high school professors. It's a hands-on activity, but with more technology. Finally, we have UNAWE for very young people and mainly to teach primary school teachers and preschool teachers. So put the focus on UNAWE, of course. Why we decide to use a lot of things from UNAWE? Because UNAWE was built using 3 main blocks: the new ideas, without any doubt, a good resources and identify better and more good resources, and finally distribute all this on the planet. And more than this, I will add some things in a few minutes. Here you can see some of the products of UNAWE. Some of the resources, you know, all of this, the airball, you mentioned a lot, this resource, the invisible universe, we use a lot of this, the simulations of day and night, the eclipses, and very nice books like this one I have here, a lot of books produced in different languages. And I would like to recover or to put attention in this one, The Rabbit in a Pot, because it was prepared by Julieta Fierro, and we are giving our tribute to Julieta, who passed away a month ago. And she was also an inspiration for many astronomers, many women on the planet. But the methodology of these resources and the use of the resources, you mentioned this along these presentations before me, were a good material like Universe in a Box, the distribution in the planet, the global use of this, using the local languages and adaptations to different realities, in fact, and finally the evaluation. We must pay attention in the evaluation, because if we don't evaluate, the project is not as sustainable as we want. I recovered this slide by Pedro Russo presentation during the communicating astronomy with the public in Poland in 2013, because in this slide he presents some characteristics of UNAWE resources, but the main thing I want to point out is the Fiesta de las Estrellas, the Party of the Stars by Rosa Maria Ross. Why? Because based on that, we propose in the this is not here, I don't know why is this. Well, anyway, we propose a new program. NACE Kids 2024 was the first use, with very specific things: star parties, the planets in our neighboring, the moon phases, the global Earth, and this activity permitted to us to present different things, in part taking from the Party of the Stars, but part taking from our own creations in NACE, with a vision for the young kids. So now we have a constellation in a box, a landscape in a box, the Hertzsprung-Russell diagram in a box for very young people, and we are training teachers on this thing. Here is also a moon in a box, but as you can see, we continue with our philosophy of very cheap material, even taken from the waste. These are recycled things, and we are go deeper in the idea you have something in a box and you can discover which is in this box. It's like a Schrödinger cat in the box. What is inside? When you see, you can find different things. Well, and as a conclusion, of course, we will continue with this successful global project and try to link it, all of them, between the creators, the professors, the volunteers. Without volunteers, it's impossible to continue with this kind of proposals. For the programs, the permanence into the union, we we think that increase the national and international visibility and the participation and to be a part of the IAU offices and networks is one of the main things that people is asking for in order to obtain funds, local funds. We also will try to avoid the overlap while recognizing that we are not invented the wheel. We are using things and try to innovate on the things prepared by many people. The idea is to promote new ideas, detect new resources, and of course maintain the cooperation between the astronomers and educators, between the educators, between them, and spread the word all over the planet. I don't know if there is any question, but if not, I would like to give my thanks and to remember, as always, Carolina Oldman. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Beatrice. Thank you. And also big thanks for the last, also takeaway message that it's really important to be aware of other things that were happening and were created by other people and build up on them and stay connected. We don't have time, unfortunately, for questions, so we're gonna move to the next lightning talk. And please, if you have questions, either drop them in the chat or keep them, remember them, note them for the breakout rooms. Our next speaker has to be Yumna Majid, and I actually want to ask if we have Yumna now with us in Zoom, because I was not able to find Yumna until now. So I propose that we move to our next speaker, to Natalie Fischer, who will share about the Universal Awareness 20 years in Germany.
Yes, okay. Thank you very much. I will give you my screen.
Thank you, Natalie.
Okay. So, okay, can you hear me?
Yes,
okay.
yes.
That's fine. Thank you so much. And you can see my screen. Okay.
Yes.
So, of course, thank you so much for giving me the chance to take you with me on a journey to sharing the universe and 20 years UNAWE in Germany. And as George already mentioned, UNAWE, Universal Awareness, is more than giving children, especially those from underprivileged backgrounds, access to astronomy or sparking their interest in STEM through the wonders of the night sky. UNAWE is also a way of thinking and awareness that we are all inhabitants of this one planet Earth, which we must protect, and that every individual is important, has its own place. So for 20 years, these ideas have been alive on the Königstuhl Mountain here above Heidelberg in Germany. And from here, hundreds of events have reached children and young people, both locally and across Germany. And central to all of these activities has been the invitation to lift our gaze from our feet on the ground to the stars above, a perspective that, as Stephen Hawking reminded us in 2017, both offers courage and inspiration. And today we would like to share with you some of these special moments along with a glimpse into the future. My name is Natalie Fischer and I work at the House of Astronomy in Heidelberg, a Center for Astronomy Education and Outreach, and I oversee the program for astronomy education in kindergartens and primary schools, together with my colleague Esther Collard. And when I first drafted this talk, it quickly became very clear that 7 minutes would never be enough. Here in Heidelberg, UNAWE has been lived and breathed for 20 years. So which moment should I choose to highlight? And so I decided to focus on the pillars that make our Universe Awareness program up here so very successful. And let's begin with this special place where UNAWE lives, the Königstuhl, a mountain about 500 meters above the city of Heidelberg. And here, where science meets history and education and enthusiastic people, we find the more than 125-year-old observatory, Landessternwarte, the Max Planck Institute for Astronomy, now over 50 years old, and the House of Astronomy, which will celebrate its 15th anniversary next year. And here at the observatory, everything began with Cecilia. Around the same time that UNAWE was founded, Cecilia co-founded the non-profit association Astronomy Schule with the goal to inspire children, families, and adults with astronomy. And back then, Astronomy Schule was still located at the observatory, and the director kindly gave us a small room next to an old unused dome, grateful for that Astronomy Schule is willing to take on the endless request from kindergartens and school groups who wanted to visit. And a year later, I met Cecilia at one of those events on the mountain. And the next day, we were sitting in her living room, and that was the first time I heard the word UNAWE. And from that day on, UNAWE had never let go of me as well. So I bought a laptop, got myself a car, and joined Astronomy Schule. And off we went. We took part in education events, organized more than 40 workshops for kindergartens and primary schools per year, dozens of children's birthday parties on weekends, activities for families, and astrocamps where school classes could stay overnight at the observatory to observe the night sky. And we ran also numerous teacher trainings for kindergarten and primary school teachers. And the best thing that happened to us, or rather to UNAWE, was the creation of the House of Astronomy in 2011, just a few meters away. And Astronomy Schule became one of its supporting pillars, and UNAWE moved also in. Around that time, the EU Universe Awareness, Around that time, the EU Universe Awareness Project began, a three-year collaboration between partners in the UK, Italy, Spain, Germany, the Netherlands, and South Africa. And during that time, you can see it on the slide, many events were held, and there was a lively exchange between the team. And then, we already heard it, Universe in the Box was developed, a box filled with educational resources that could be borrowed, replicated, or purchased. And in 2015, it was rewarded the Scientix Resources Award. And we still lend it out here all over Germany today. And we also contributed to Space Corps as well. And in the end of the project, Cecilia and I were very fortunate to be able to continue UNAWE because the Klaus Tschira Foundation and its subsidiary, the Forscherstation, continued to fund us. And since then, UNAWE had a permanent place here, a permanent home here in Germany. We retained the formats that are suitable for everyday use and can be carried out reliably and continuously per year. For example, 70 workshops for kindergarten and elementary schools, around 16 teacher trainings per year, about 10 events for family, learning materials for loan or development of new resources, and such as here for the annual interactive exhibition Explore Science. And these pillars of reliability and continuity are very important for many institutions here in our neighborhood. Some do come back every year. And during the pandemic, we quickly switched on to some online workshops or online teacher training to keep that connection alive. Of course, we love to do special events as well. These are our glittering pillars, like bringing astronauts and primary school children together at space days, or recently reading under the planetarium sky during the IAU 100 Hours of Astronomy. And thanks to Ukraine scientists at the MPA, we were also able to organize several events for family from the Ukraine. But our most important pillars are our network of partners. First, the House of Astronomy, with its wonderful facilities, is our base. The observatory Landessternwarte provides its domes and historical stories. Astronomy Schule supports us with members and, when needed, covers all travel and workshop costs for kindergarten and primary school classes. The Forschungsstation, as an educational partner of the House of Astronomy, contributes a staff position, my position, a valuable expertise in early science education, and enables free teacher training courses for kindergarten and primary school teachers. And even though we are quite proud of the many children we reach, every single event always comes down to the individual child. We celebrate every pair of bright eyes, every little handshake, and these often said words we sometimes hear, "When I grow up, I want to look at the stars like you do." And the same goes for our teachers who spend their free time coming up the mountain for training and then return to their school full of new ideas and motivation. So what does our future hold? For several years now, the House of Astronomy has also hosted the IAU Office of Astronomy for Education. And there is great potential for collaboration and something we can maybe explore further in the breakout session later today, especially since some OAE members are here with us today. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Natalie. Thanks for this great overview of the past 20 years. And personally, I have to add, when you mentioned the children parties, astronomy children birthdays, I think I thought I'm very jealous. I didn't have an opportunity to have something like that. So I'm sure that those kids are going to have memories forever. And I believe that you're going to get quite some astronomers. Thank you very much. Because of the quick time, we don't have time for questions, but please, as I said earlier, write down your questions, and then for sure we'll have time to discuss them in the breakout groups. And I would like that we move to our next speaker who will be presenting the lightning talk. And it's going to be Yumna Mahit, talking about UNAWE's pioneering role in Pakistan's space education movement. I've seen that, and I need to give very quickly the rights to present. Just a sec. Yes, now Yumna, you have the rights to present if you want to show a presentation. So please go ahead.
Yes, I am trying to share my screen.
Mm-hmm.
Can you see my screen now?
Not yet. No.
Okay, let me try.
Yumna, if also you prefer and it doesn't work, you can quickly maybe somehow drop your slides to me and I will share them from my computer.
Yes, this is something that I can do for sure.
Yeah.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear.
Okay. May I have your... Actually, I can share it to your email. Can you get a Google Drive link?
Yeah, sure.
Okay. Okay, it's sent to you.
Okay, should be any second here.
Yeah. It's the PowerPoint presentation. I can start in general till the time you get my slides. I think that would be
okay. Let's do like that.
Wait. So, hi everyone. My name is Yumna Majid. I joined Universe Awareness when I was maybe 17 or 18 years old. I always wanted to be an astronaut, and there was no such thing in Pakistan. There were no platforms where I could ask people about space and astronomy. I always felt that lack. So I created one platform in my country, and Universe Awareness has a huge role to start that movement in Pakistan. And I can say that we started very, very small, but now there is a proper space education ecosystem in Pakistan. In the last few years, there are many other organizations, clubs, and universities, other undergrads starting their own space and astronomy popularization organizations, which somehow I believe is also a success, because one movement or one organization that I built can not inspire the entire Pakistan. So I think that it's an achievement for us to be the pioneer ones to start space education and inspiring others to start. Do you have my slides now? Okay, great.
Right.
So can you move to the next slide? Yeah, so this is a painting that I made when I was in my medical college. It's the same year when I founded my space education organization, which is called Exploration. Everybody asks me all the time. It's the most asked question: why you wanted to be an astronaut? What was that moment you fell in love with space? And what age did you develop the passion for space exploration? So I made this painting telling people that if I go back in my memory, this is the time since when I love space and since when I knew I wanted to become an astronaut. This is a fetus astronaut. It's a baby astronaut in the womb. Next slide, please. So my journey of becoming a space educator, it starts from this one incident when I was in grade 9, and my science teacher was asking everybody, what do you want to be when you grow up? I stood up and I said that I want to be an astronaut, and my teacher explained the whole classroom what an astronaut is, and then she said that there is no such thing as astronaut, there is no such thing as space, and if you try to go up there, you will die. And not only that, all my classmates thought that I am a mentally disabled child because I want to go to a place which does not even existed. So at a very young age, I realized that the problem in my country was not about the lack of awareness about space and astronomy, but the problem was the role of the teacher in building or breaking dreams of their own students. So I decided that once I grow up, I will fix that problem for Pakistan. I wanted to bring space to Pakistan rather than leaving Pakistan, and build my own space and astronomy career in another country. Next slide, please. So yes, I had no space-related storybooks, no toys. I never get a chance to do the stargazing. I live in a city full of light pollution. I never heard space-related stories, and I had no family influence. Nobody in my family was into space and astronomy, but I had only one thing, which was the internet, and I wanted to use it to my maximum capacity. Next slide. Yeah, I used to read Wikipedia pages of different astronauts. I was very afraid of maths, but I also used to read Wikipedia profiles of astronauts to know what they have studied to be an astronaut. And I was relieved a bit because I realized that an astronaut can be an engineer, an astronaut can be a doctor, they can be a mathematician, an architect, a psychologist, a biochemist, a marine biologist, or even a nurse. So I opted to join my medical college, and then I founded my space education organization. Next slide. Yes, so I always wanted to bring astronomy to Pakistan, and once I got the internet, all I used to do was to search for such platforms who do not have problem with my very young age to do something, who do not have any problem with my medical background, and who do not have any problem with Pakistan either, because I don't know, unfortunately, because of some events in our history, space and defense are always discussed together. And I used to face a lot of, not a lot of, I would say, but a bit backlash that space is a matter of defense and we cannot add the country and blah, blah, blah. But I was looking for the platforms who had no problem with my nationality either. Next slide, please. So this is the organization I came across, Universe Awareness. I used to write, I don't know, God knows what keywords on Google. And I came across Universe Awareness. I joined it. I remember I was over the moon when I got my student ambassador certificate and a badge pin that I am an ambassador. And on behalf of that, I used to go to schools. I used to give free sessions at schools about solar system because it was difficult to insist the schools and principals that what I am going to teach the students. So it was a very basic lecture where I used to debunk the myths which were only and only about our solar system, how Mercury is not the hottest planet and why Pluto is no longer a planet. A year later, Universe Awareness sent me a teaching kit, which was Universe in the Box. Next, please. Universe Awareness was also the platform where I won my first telescope. In Pakistan, we do not have telescope companies or telescope manufacturing companies. Not only that, but it is also very difficult to get this equipment out of customs. And if someone wants to buy it, it's a very expensive equipment. So SSVI by Jean Perry Grotaret, he had his first competition of distributing 5 telescopes all around the world was held in collaboration with Universe Awareness, and I was one of those 5 winners from the first cohort. And the picture you see on the left is me, and I had this relief on my face not because I won the telescope, but because I won it out of Pakistani customs. So that was another story. And with this telescope, we did a lot of work. Next slide, please. So this in the middle, you see astronauts, the spacesuit with astronaut Nicole Thought. This is the spacesuit on behalf of which we named our organization Exploration. Next slide, please. We started really small. I started all alone with no team at all, and I had no clue about building an organizations or having a logo or doing some marketing or building some pages. But fast forward down the lane, it's just last year we officially announced over proper logo and proper company things because we have grown big. We were first Exploration, then we became Exploration by Yumna. But then I realized that a lot of people started joining me in my same mission. And I believe now it's a team effort. It's no longer Exploration by Yumna. So we are now Exploration, bringing cosmos to the classroom for the last 1 decade almost. Next slide. These are some of the pictures how we started. These are the photos from 2016 and 2017 when I was student ambassador of Universe Awareness. At the same time, I was studying at my medical college, and I have no shame telling that I used to bunk my medical college lectures and my labs to just sneak into some schools and talk about space. Next slide. Some more photos, how we used the kit from Universe Awareness. These are some photos from a local STEM. Basically, these pictures are from 2 different local slum schools, which were evening schools for kids who usually don't prefer to study, and we look for interesting methods to attract them towards study. So I got the idea of making this constellation viewer from the teaching manual that Universe Awareness sent me with the box, and rest of the items you see in front of me, which we placed on the table. We used to tell kids about the comparison of different planets. Next slide. Few more pictures, us utilizing the universe in the box. Next. Again, honestly, I took the box everywhere. It was literally the stepping stone of my workshops when I could not understand anything else. And this yellow gym ball was actually very attractive. Next, please. And yes, this is us now. We are a big team, and they are all volunteers. I won't say that they show up at every single event. It is not necessary, but we all are passionate for space, and every single person contributes to the same mission. So it's a very big deal for me that it's not just me and you. I have people at my back who believes in my vision. We developed a lot of hands-on learning activities for kids apart from the universe awareness box as well. Next slide, please. I would suggest to just please stop at this slide. These are just some, please stop at this slide. These are just some awards that I have won over the last 10 years, and I would like you guys to have a look at all of them to the list, the previous slide and this slide, and maybe write in the chat box that which one do you think is really a good one or something really amazing. I got national and international awards from some honors from the government or maybe the army, and then international ones. Got to represent my country at a lot of conferences. I would like to know what you guys think that, okay, maybe this award is a really big deal. This year I got selected as a member of our Prime Minister's National Youth Council as well. So just quickly maybe jot down one or two things. What do you think is a really good one to have? You can move to the previous slide or to the next slide, just one.
I also want to say, Yuna, that we have to wrap up in 1 minute with your talk. Yeah.
Okay.
And also you're muted. Yeah.
Oh, sorry. The next one. You can go 2 slides. Next. That's it. That's it. Hard to say, they're all good. Yeah, I think they are all good, but please, next slide. I respect all the awards that I have received so far, but I believe my biggest award is the impact that I have been able to create. I have seen the reaction of kids knowing something about space and looking at the moon or looking through the sun, looking at the sun through telescope. I can see that ground level impact that I'm creating, and that is my biggest achievement so far. Please, next slide. Some numbers, we have actually worked with more than 23,000 students now, have done a lot of sessions at school, which includes hands-on workshops, speaking sessions, sessions with astronauts and professionals, and a lot of media engagements as well. Next. Some regular services that we offer now, utilizing and expanding, you can say, the Universe Awareness Teaching Manual. Next slide. And these are now the long-term programs that we have crafted. And I would like to say that here, the Astro Reach is an extended version of Universe in the Box that we want to create. Basically, we want to add astronomy educational resources, some tactile models for blind kids, and a handbook which has sign language for astronomical terms for deaf kids. We want to add that in Universe in the Box to make the box more inclusive. And McCall McNair Fellowship is a space educator training program that we want to develop, again, something expanded over the teaching manual that Universe Awareness gave me. So the idea came actually from the box and the teaching manual I got from Universe Awareness. And honestly, I still use that teaching manual. Next slide.
Yuna, I will have to stop you here for the time because yeah, we really have to go make a short break. I'm very sorry about that because yeah, it has been now 2 hours that we're online. So I would also ask to share the slides, so we would also add them to the website so that everybody can have a look. And also wanted to compliment you on so many activities, so many awards. That's really great and it's very inspirational. And yeah, sorry for that. I have to cut early, but yeah, unfortunately we don't have time to present everything.
No,
yeah.
I'm already reading the chat, so I get it. No problem. Thank you.
Okay. Yeah. Thanks a lot. I seen that there was a hand from Manuel, but I see that Manuel is also writing in the chat. I wanted to say to everybody, thanks again to all the invited speakers, to all the speakers for the lightning talks. And I propose that as in the program, we're going to take a 10-minute break now. So you can make a coffee, a tea, any beverage of your preference, go to the restroom, just relax from the computer, from from everything, from the headphones. And we're going to resume in 10 minutes. And we're going to have one more invited talk. And after that, we'll move into the breakout groups. Where we'll have discussion on how what are the ideas all of us have about the how universal awareness can look like today. And also, I want to give a little preview that we're going to have an amazing facilitators for each of the breakout groups. So also in advance, I want to say huge thanks to our facilitators. They're joining us from all the different time zones, well, the same as the participants. So take your time, well, take 10 minutes and we see you in 10 minutes. So now it's 6 to 4, and I'm trying also in my head quickly to translate everything into the UTC. Let me take
It's
some
okay.
help from the
10
yeah.
minutes.
So we start in 10 minutes. Yes. So 5 minutes after whatever time zone you're living in. Okay. See you very soon.
Thank you.
Hi everyone, welcome back after the break. I hope that that you all managed to do what is needed, what you wanted. And I propose that we move in our program, and we have one more invited talk that we have today. The talk will be presented by Dunia Fabian, and just a quick, I will give the rights to present to Dunia. Yes. And Dunia will tell us a little bit more about the work that they're doing also together with Stefano Sandrali about the toolkit that they developed on and different activities as well that are used to strengthen the astronomy community. Dunia, the floor is yours. You should be able now to present your slides.
Can you hear me? Can you hear me and see the
Yes.
slide?
Yes.
Okay, very good.
Yes.
Thank you. So thank you very much for the invitation. So I will, so my main goal here is to present what is co-design and how it can be implemented in developing activities and strengthening also the astronomy community. So I will talk on behalf of the OAE Center Italy, so the Italian Office for Astronomy for Education. I have seen that also Alessandra from the same center is here. And I hope that,
Yes, hi.
There will be some, hi, there will be some discussion also as we are from the same community. So as you probably already know, there are different centers around the world that are gathering together national astronomy education coordinators from different countries. And one of the centers actually is in Italy, and is an international office that is hosted and supported by the Istituto Nazionale di Astrofisica, the INAF, and it was founded in 2021, thanks to a memorandum of understanding between the IAU, the OAE, and the INAF. What I wanted here to say is that the center, the Italian center, has some focus areas, specific focus areas that are geographical, in a sense that it is linked to the Mediterranean area. It has a focus on innovative learning, and is also working on the Astro-Edu website and portal. But one of the main pillars of the approach that this center has is the co-design, and that's why I will speak about this co-design approach within this center. Here, what we are calling this Mediterranean co-design is actually a pillar, as I said, from this center. And since the OAE Center Italy is located in the Mediterranean area, the main idea here is to build a community of Mediterranean actors that has the same approach. So what I'm basically listening here are some of the different aspects of this approach that is basically person-centered learning. So it fosters this kind of learning. It fosters the collaboration between peers in this sense between NAECs, so these national coordinators. It has a strong interculturality aspect, and astronomy here is not only, but astronomy is used also as a tool to enhance social skills. And we are also looking and trying to do to build a community based also on previous experience that we have. So what I will be speaking about now will be a little bit about the co-design approach, and also I will then try to focus on some of the examples that we had in the past. So what is co-design? And I believe that some of you already had to work with this co-design approach. So basically, it's a collaborative design. So it's a participatory design. It's another way of designing things, in this sense, astronomical activities. It is different with respect to the traditional design. In the traditional design, you have these top-down roles, fixed roles, and limited feedback from the people that are involved in the project, while co-design is based on a collaborative way of doing together or to doing together these activities. Roles can be fluid. There is no specific role attached to each person, and there is continuous input from the persons that are involved in this design approach. So this kind of fluid roles means that fluid roles means that you are a co-creator, a facilitator, and so on and so forth. But this means that we have shared responsibilities, that people can also move between roles and they can influence each other in the decision. So basically, this is a shared also ownership of the final product, let's say. So this is one of the pictures I wanted to show where each one of us is one of the pieces of this puzzle. However, each one of us has can have different roles, and the puzzle looks very different when you are looking at it in a final version. So why do we wanted to use co-design in building activities? Because it encourages agency, and as I said, one of the main goals is to build a strong community. So it's building relationships, so strong relationship, and improves the engagement of people. And I will show practically at the end what that means also. Some of the core principles of the co-designs are that there is participation and inclusion of everyone. So there is equity at the base of this design approach. There is collaboration between different parties, the transparency. There should be clear communication and shared decision-making in the process. And the process is very long in the sense that you have to iterate it. So you have to work together for a longer time to obtain a final activity, for example. There are some steps of the co-design process that are here listed. So, for example, you have to build the context. So, for example, you have to define what is your challenge. In one of the cases, you will see the challenge was to build some activities that are related to light. There should be a clear focus on who are the stakeholders. Usually, in this sense, they are teachers. There should be some co-creation sections where we had in the past the opportunity to co-create together these activities, to share some ideas and to mix the ideas together. There are obviously some draft activities that are written in the middle of this process. And at the end, we have to obviously iterate the discussion among others. So even if we break in different groups, then at the end we had to collect everything together and so make a shared decision about those activities. So one of the first examples, and I believe that this was the first project that was done with this approach, was Mirto STEAM-MED project. This was a project that was focused on creating a collaborative environment among these different Mediterranean countries. And it was firstly involved basically in building this network of NOEX. There were different online roundtables. Co-design was used in this sense. And the main goal was to build some activities that are light related. And we had a number of rounds of co-design between different NAICs from different countries. And then we had at the end also a common, we met together. So in this sense, we had this collective process was then ending in Lampedusa, where we basically wanted to create different educational paths to build these activities. And these educational paths basically are constituted by activities that were co-planned by different NACs of the countries that were involved in these projects. And this was in 2022, and we all met as I said, in Lampedusa. There was another project I was also involved in, and this was the Sabir project, where we were more focused on building inquiry-based activities. And this was for high school students, were a smaller group of people, and with the final products that are basically published, almost all of them are now published on Astro platform as a product that can be used, or activity that can be used around the world, and are now in the process of being translated in all the languages of the people involved in this project. So there were a lot of different goals that are specifically social goals, this project, that were so to sustain this network of NAICs that were already in place from the previous project, enhance best practice, to learn a lot about the inquiry-based learning, to reinforce this community, and to enhance also this co-design process, because we had a lot of different meetings during the year that were online, but basically what was more effective was actually the co-design process that was done in person. Some of the tools that we used in the co-design, I had these two different pictures. One was the theme. When we were selecting the theme for the Myrtos Team Met, we used the Jamboard table, so to collect all the ideas together, and then we had them focusing then on what we want to do together. So this was basically the collaboration and the co-creation, the brainstorming we had at the beginning. And then you can see here the picture of us working together with the Sabir activities that we developed last year. What I wanted here to stress is the outcome of all this co-design. So first of all, as I said, co-design is a long process, and we will see it later. It works mainly if you do it in person. So online is still working, since we have a large community. Obviously, we had to work online, but let's say that the more effective, the more impact you have when you work together in person. What is another impact of those projects that the OAE Center Italy is leading is that there were a lot of different meetings that then developed from this project, from this community, to build together a larger community. So what you can see here is different projects that were done in different years. So the Lampedusa one I was talking about, the regional meeting and astronomy summer school in Morocco in 2023, the meeting that was the Mediterranean Regional Shoya workshop in Turkey in 2024, and the meeting that is about to happen in the first day of December in 2025. And as you can see, the number of NAICs and the number of countries is really growing. And so starting from the from the first bunch of people that were together in Lampedusa, the things are growing and more a community is, so basically the community is growing in this sense. So what I wanted to say is that the impact can be seen also through these different organizations of workshops, of meeting, where we can share together our projects. One other thing that is happening, for example, is also the Erasmus Plus project that was awarded. There are different partners, and one of the partners is also the Istituto Nazionale di Astrofisica. And this in this project, also obviously other different partners will be involved. Yeah, what I wanted here to say also is that, as you can see, the center, the Italian center, the IAU Center Italy, is still supporting all these projects, but in every other and successive project, we have another partner that is supporting this kind of activity. And this is really important. And in particular for the Erasmus project, I had to say that this is a complementary action to the OAE funds and the Italian OAE funds will be helping to involve other countries that are not in the Erasmus Plus project. So building again this community of people. It's a big project. It will last for 3 years and it was awarded to 250 kilo euros. So that's a nice way of seeing how this community is growing and how it can help others to collaborate also together. So at the end, I wanted to say also which are the challenges and the benefits actually of this co-design approach. So the challenges are linked to the time constraints because when you are doing co-design, the process is really taking a long time, as we have seen in the past. We have to align because the velocities are different in the sense that one is developing. So, for example, one country is developing its activity with a faster pace than the other. Then we have to realign every time that we meet together. But there are a lot of benefits. The benefits are a deeper engagement, a deeper knowledge of each other, and as I said, we can build together a community. So this is really an important part. So I believe that this is everything I wanted to say, and I will stop my presentation here.
Thank you very much, Dunya. Thanks a lot. I welcome people to ask questions if you have at this point, either through chat or through unmuting yourself. Joyful, please go ahead.
No question.
Okay, Manuel, please go ahead.
Thank you very much. Can you hear me clear?
Yeah.
Okay, so thank you for sharing the amazing job you are doing, Ms. Dujan Fabjan. So I would like to ask you how you manage the time and collaboration events between institutions and different group of people in different regions, because I saw that you have 17 nights in one of the slides. So your country is really big. So there are in different regions and different districts of education. Sometimes the politics of the local politics of education on schools are different. And how have you managed with your team to overcome this subject and be able to share the NACE material in those programs? Thank you very much.
Yes. So I can say so I was involved in a first STEAM-MET project and in the Sabir project. In the STEAM-MET project, where also Alessandra was working, and she was one of the facilitators actually in that project. It was really hard to help everyone to be involved in that project. We had a lot of people together. We had to meet together at some at different times with a facilitator. So you need also a facilitator for each meeting. There were meetings of two countries together. And we had also to share our, what is our, so our politics, how does it work, the astronomy, is it present in school as a subject or not, and how can we merge together? So what we basically did was everyone was proposing an idea and was then sharing it with the other country. And they were then discussing about how we implement this idea in a way that would be feasible to this activity, for example, to be done in different countries. So the activities can be tailored to different communities. More or less can be tailored to different communities. And that was one of the ideas. So maybe Alessandra has to add something because she was really
it's
involved
correct.
with that.
I think you said it well. The thing is that we work like maybe 3 months, 4 months, 6 months online. We had online meetings, and that was, of course, a way of connecting with people from other countries, of course. And this is not expensive. I mean, just you need time to find each other and to align the schedules and not only the activities. This is, of course, quite a time-consuming way of working. But the fact that we have been meeting online for like months earlier before meeting in person, that really was useful as well, because we could build on the activity together. And then when we finally, at last, met together in the same place in person, that was really a boost. And in 1 week, we really, 5 days, 1 week, we really do a huge work. And this is a way of working which we have seen, as Dunia said, is quite a, it takes some efforts from the people participating, from the organizers, of course, but it's worth it because it's really a strong way for building the community, as Dunia said and showed, because all the workshops that came after Lampedusa is, I think, a very practical example of how much the community really was building, because we never met before the Lampedusa and the Mirto STEM-Med project. That was really the first time the majority of us worked together. But this was really a powerful way of building something, and something which has a meaning because it's from bottom up, because it's something which is really belonging to all the participants from different countries, from different perspectives, from different way of working, of intending, of using astronomy, and so on and so forth. So this is not about astronomy anymore. It's more about, STEM at large, and so on and so forth. So that's really, I think, useful.
Maybe I can add that, for example, when meeting one with each other, so between countries, you can also see what are the differences in one country. For example, I don't know, it's not common to have computers available for doing activities. So then you have to retailor your activity in such a way that can be also done in a classroom without, for example, without computers. I'm taking an example. But yeah, that's the way. So communicate between countries means also that the activities can be really tailored or think about. So you can think about having this activity done in a different way, and you can propose it as an activity that can be done differently. As I said, most of these activities were also published on the AstroEdu platform, and then there they have some parts that can be done in one way or the other way. So we have to be flexible, and we are also learning from each other what is the situation in each country. And at the end, not speaking only about activities, but yeah, these activities are nowadays also used in schools. For example, some of them were, I don't know, the Lebanese activity that we developed with the Sabir project was also proposed to some Croatian schools and so on. So knowing each other and knowing what each of us has done or has proposed in these projects, then is basically helping also these activities to go around the world, spread around the world, and that's a nice thing, I think.
And it's growing. The other important thing, I think it's really growing. More people are coming on board, and this is very useful. And also, I think that's another important thing is that you learn to look at different perspectives. Like UNAWE, it's a very large project from people from different parts of the world, from different countries. And so you learn a lot, I think, and this is a very powerful also way of interacting with colleagues. For example, we have people from Syria, people from Lebanon, so they have different difficulties that we cannot even imagine. And it's really, really meaningful, I think, also the discussion and the perspective you get from them. So, yeah, for me, it's important.
Thank you both, Dunya and Alessandra. It's also a very important conversation to have. And I actually wanted to highlight attention of everyone because Dunya mentioned Erasmus Plus funding and the project that you're running. And I wanted to actually highlight attention of everyone who is available, who is allowed to apply for this kind of grants, because usually Erasmus Plus grants these are European funded grants, but at times they're also open not only to the European countries, to the broader area, sometimes also worldwide, and they're actually not that, let's say, not that heavy and huge to write, and they're a very, very nice project. So if you're looking for some potential fundraising or funding ideas, you can also please have a look into Erasmus Plus opportunities. They're really, really nice. And with this said, I would like to propose that we move to I want to say the most important part of the workshop, but then it will undermine everything that happened before this. So I propose that we move to the next important part of the workshop, which is the work in the breakout groups. And the idea that we had is that we will now break you into randomly assigned breakout groups. You will have 25 half-hour time, and the discussion that we want you to have in the breakout groups is the discussion on the theme reimagining universe awareness for today. So we want you to focus on how universe awareness can evolve to meet current needs in astronomy education, and especially for primary level children. You're going to have a facilitator in each of your group. The first group will have facilitator Joyful from the IAU office. The second group is going to have facilitator Rosa Doran. The third group is going to have facilitator Cecilia. And group number 4 will have facilitator Tomita San. The idea is that you have a discussion in your breakout groups. Please be active. Please don't be shy. Don't be afraid. This is not nobody's gonna get graded on anything. This is just to have an open discussion all together and to find the best. To just create ideas, to exchange ideas. And we ask each group to prepare 2, 3, also maybe 1 summary slide capturing the main ideas of your group. And here you're also free to decide how you prepare the slides, if it's 1 or 2, maybe you want to show more, so you can also do 3, but please stick to, let's say, on average to 2 slides. And after the discussion in the breakout groups will finish, it would be really great that we meet back all together. So the breakout groups will close automatically and we meet in the main screen here and we hear just a couple of minutes from each group showing their slides and showing their ideas with which you come up. So good luck. I'm going to be starting the breakout groups now, and I'm really, really looking forward to see all the ideas that you will come back with.
Hi, Katya.
So we still have the live on the YouTube.
You can cancel it now. Stop it.
Yeah. Yeah.